Good morning. This is Dylan Jovine with Behind the Markets. Happy Monday. Today is Monday, December 1st. And today I want to talk about Alphabet, Google, and the coming chip wars. So first of all, some background, okay? I've been watching Google for a while. Everybody watches Google. We recommended Google at $202 in August. Now it's at $320, 50+% gain. Yippee, yippee, yippee. But that wasn't like a 10 bagger. That was a revaluation trade. And a revaluation trade is something that happens when a new set of circumstances takes an existing company and makes you revalue its future cash flows or its prospects. And a revaluation trade with Google is once the Justice Department dropped their case or basically lost their case, the judge said basically there's enough competition for Google out here as it is. You don't have to break up the company. It was the high probability bet that Google was just going to start marching higher, and it did that. So that was just a revaluation pick. You're not going to get rich off of revaluation trades. It's just not the way it works, but it's a way to make good, easy money. In my career, I've observed this over decades. But it's actually ironic because had the Justice Department broken Google up, each of those individual parts likely would have been valued much higher, would have probably unlocked a lot of shareholder value, which history tells us is what happens when you break up a monopoly. But the Justice Department said, this is not a monopoly. They have too much competition. And you know what? I'll tell you something. When you look at OpenAI, OpenAI has 800 members. Google has 600. Google just came out with their new Gemini 3.0 browser AI chatbot. And I'll tell you, while the parade was happening on Thanksgiving, I was testing it compared to ChatGPT. I was running both of them to see which one was better. And I'll tell you something. Wow, this Gemini bot is no joke. This Nano Banana, or whatever they're calling it. It's a really cute nickname. Anyway, back to semiconductors and chips. You remember last week, I was telling you that Nvidia has 33% margins on its chips, which is an abnormally high profit margin. It's crazy. It's bizarre. And it's short term. Companies don't keep 33% margins for long because those are such high margins. What happens is everybody around sees that and they start chipping away at the company's dominance until those margins go down to more normalized margins. Okay, this is the nature of competition. This is what will happen to Nvidia. It's what happens to everybody. It's just the way it goes. So Google, last week it was announced that Meta, Mag 7 Meta, another one of our mono portfolio companies, by the way, recommendations, actually is thinking about using Google chips instead of Nvidia, spending tens of billions of dollars on Google chips. And it's interesting. Now, all of a sudden, in the past week, with their new chatbot, Nano Banana, the Gemini chatbot, and now they're selling chips that are competing with Nvidia, it's like Google has opened up two fronts against OpenAI and against Nvidia, and they're doing it really well. So you got to think to yourself, kudos to Google, kudos to Alphabet. Those guys have been completely caught flat-footed on this whole OpenAI thing, this whole chatbot thing. And you know what? They were not part of really the AI conversation. People were making fun of them. And all of a sudden, they kept their heads down. It's a proud company. And they understand. You don't talk with your mouth. You talk with your actions. You know what I mean? You can preach a better sermon with your actions than with your words. This is a life lesson. I try to tell that to my kids all the time. And what they did is they put their heads down and they worked through it. They spent the last year plus just grinding, working, not really part of the AI conversation. And then all of a sudden, last week, bang, really, they got the ball now and their offense is on the field. It's like an interception, they got the ball and their offense is driving on the field, which is great. This is what I love about business. So anyway, remember, so now Google is getting known for selling chips. Holy mackerel, isn't that interesting? Among other things, you know, the chatbot, the chips, so they're threatening Nvidia. What a powerful company to do that. Now, remember a couple of months ago, we've been talking about Nvidia's secret supplier. I'm going to let you in on something here. We should rename that from Nvidia's secret supplier to Google's secret supplier to Microsoft's secret supplier to Qualcomm's secret supplier to Samsung's secret supplier to Tesla's secret supplier, because the company that supplies the technology that underpins Nvidia's chips and Google's new chip and all those other companies It's the same company that sells the weapons to all these companies fighting this war. It's like the arms dealer. It's seriously, it's interesting. It's the company selling the guns to all these other companies fighting this chip war. So that company is even more valuable. It's a mentally mind-boggling thing to me that its stock isn't higher. Anyway, but that's another conversation. So we have now officially entered the chip wars. You saw it starting to happen when the Trump administration bought 10% of Intel. You see it starting to happen with Qualcomm and all these other companies that are Apple with their customized M1 chip. You're starting to see this happen right now. Really, I don't think ever in the history of technology has so many tech firms moved into one direction, which is really to replicate these chips. Because we all know that these chips are actually, which is really interesting, it's like software and semiconductor in one. It's really the next evolution in chips, and it's going to blow apart Moore's Law. It already is. So we've actually moved into a new era. And this one company that we've been talking about, Nvidia's secret supplier, should be called Google's secret supplier, Qualcomm's secret supplier, Samsung's secret supplier, Tesla's secret supplier, Microsoft's secret supplier. It's everybody. Amazon's secret supplier. It is everybody's secret supplier. So they're selling the guns to all these chip companies fighting it out. It's just a great position to be in to own shares in that company. Anyway, that's all I have. Have a wonderful Monday. See you tomorrow.